It was past 11 p.m., and the wind off Lake Michigan was cruel that night. The snowflakes swirled under the streetlights like ghostly confetti, but to Rachel Hayes they felt like needles. She stood at a dim bus stop outside the hospital, wrapped in her thin, outdated coat, her scrubs still damp from a spilled tray and a frantic shift in the ER. The final bus had come and gone 20 minutes ago. She didn't have the money for an Uber, and the next bus wasn't for another hour. She hugged herself tighter and tried not to cry. 3 straight 12-hour shifts had left her barely functioning, yet she couldn't afford to cut her hours. Her mother's medical bills were piling up, and rent was due in 2 days. She glanced around the silent street, her frozen breath clouding the air. A part of her wished someone, anyone, would notice how invisible she felt. Across the street, a sleek black car slowed and pulled up beside the sidewalk. Rachel blinked through the flurries. The window rolled down, and a man's face leaned toward her from the driver's seat. "Excuse me," he called out, voice calm but firm. "Are you okay?" Rachel took a cautious step back. "I'm fine," she lied, teeth chattering. "You don't look fine," he said, getting out of the car. He was tall, maybe in his mid-40s, wearing a tailored wool coat and a scarf that looked expensive without trying too hard. His black gloves were gripping the door lightly. He didn't look threatening, but Rachel's body tensed anyway. It was late, and she was alone. "I'm not looking for trouble," he said, holding his hands out. "I've passed this stop the last few nights. Always see you here around this time. Same coat, same expression. I couldn't just keep driving." Rachel stared at him. "You've been watching me?" "Not like that," he said quickly. "I'm Daniel King, CEO of King Biotech." Rachel blinked. "Wait, King Biotech, as in the vaccine company?" He nodded. "That's me." "What are you doing out here?" she asked, half skeptical, half frozen. "I take this route home. Avoid the freeway, clear my head." Rachel looked away. She didn't care if he was a CEO or the mayor. She just needed warmth and a ride home. But pride is a stubborn thing. "I'm not a charity case," she murmured. Daniel's gaze softened. "I never said you were." He moved slowly, opening the passenger door of his car. Warm air from the heated seat spilled into the freezing night. No strings, no agenda, just dinner and a ride. "You look like someone who could use both." Rachel hesitated. Her bones were aching from the cold. Her pride told her to say no, but something in his tone, genuine, kind, not pitying, broke through. "If I end up missing," she muttered, "they'll know who took me." He smiled. "Fair enough." She got in. The seat swallowed her in comfort. The heat hit her skin like a blessing. As they pulled away, Daniel didn't ask for her story. He just turned on soft jazz and let the silence speak. For the first time in weeks, Rachel felt the tightness in her chest loosen, just a little. And she had no idea this night would become the turning point of her entire life. Rachel stepped into the warm penthouse with hesitant footsteps, unsure if she was walking into kindness or something too good to be true. The contrast from the freezing night to this glowing space was staggering. Floor-to-ceiling windows, soft amber lighting, shelves lined with books and framed photos, and a quiet hum of jazz filling the air. It was elegant, but not flashy. It felt lived in. Daniel slipped off his coat and gestured toward the leather couch near the fireplace. "Sit anywhere you like. I'll grab a blanket and something warm." She slowly lowered herself onto the couch, her eyes wide, taking it all in. The nurse in her noticed little details. No signs of mess, the faint scent of peppermint tea, and the way his voice never carried pressure. It was comfort without expectation. And that unsettled her more than any cold night ever could. Moments later, Daniel returned with a blanket and a steaming mug. "Chamomile," he said. "Not a miracle, but it helps thaw the soul." Rachel smiled softly and took it. "Thank you. I didn't expect any of this." He sat down across from her, hands clasped. "I didn't expect to stop tonight, but something about the way you stood there, like you were holding up the weight of the world, I just couldn't keep driving." She sipped the tea and looked at him. "So, what's the real reason? Why help me?" Daniel paused. "My mom was a nurse, raised me by herself. She died when I was 19. Everything I've done, everything I've built, King Biotech, the clinics, the research, it started because of her. She used to say nurses are the ones who see the human behind the illness. That stuck with me. Rachel lowered her gaze, the memory of her own mother flickering behind her eyes. I guess, he continued, I saw a glimpse of her in you, tired, brave, alone. That hit deeper than he probably realized. After a quiet pause, Rachel said, It's funny. We spend all day saving lives and go home wondering if anyone would notice if we didn't make it. Daniel looked at her. I noticed. They sat in silence, the fire crackling softly between them. Then, without warning, Rachel's eyes filled with tears. She tried to hide them, but her breath caught in her throat. I'm sorry, she whispered. Don't be. I didn't come here to fall apart. Sometimes falling apart means you finally stop pretending you're okay. She smiled sadly, wiping her eyes. I don't know what this night is or what it means, but thank you for seeing me. Daniel leaned forward. You deserve to be seen, and you deserve more than cold bus stops after saving lives all day. He reached into his coat and pulled out a small envelope. I was planning to launch a quiet project, a nursing support initiative. Scholarships, mental health grants, night shift meals, small things that make a big difference, but I don't want it to be some PR campaign. I want someone real to shape it. Rachel stared at him, stunned. Are you offering me a job? I'm offering you purpose, on your terms. She blinked back a fresh wave of emotion. You don't even know me. He smiled. But I see you, and that's where real change begins. That night didn't end like a fairy tale. There were no kisses or sweeping gestures. Just warmth, dignity, and the first glimmer of something better. Sometimes, one quiet act of care can shift the course of two lives. And Rachel would never wait alone in the cold again.